Great man of India, Chandragupta Maurya, Dundi Raja of the 18th century, to describe Chandragupta definitely as the son of Maurya, the offspring of the Srudra, wife Mura of his father named Sarvartha Siddhi, who had another son named Nanda by his wife Sunanda. This is the only passage in Sanskrit literature which definitely ascribes a base birth to Chandragupta. Perhaps it was suggested by the commentator on the Purana who explained Maurya as one born of Mura, but even he does not state that Mura was a Sudra woman. His grammar, however, is wrong because Mura leads to the derivative Moria and not Maurya. He is thus innocent of both grammar and of libel against Chandragupta. It should further be noted that the Kashmiri works Katasarita Saragra of Somadeva and Brihat Katamanjari of Kashimindra suggest a different lineage of Chandragupta. They describe him as the son of Purvananda, a previous Nanda king, distinguished from the other Nanda called Yogananda. Moreover, Buddhist tradition is quite certain about the noble pedigree of Chandragupta. He is stated to be the scion of Kshatriya clan of Mauryas, an offshoot of the noble and sacred sect of the Sakyas, who gave the Buddha to the world. Instead of the term Maurya, Buddhist works use the form Moriya, derived from Mora, Mayura, peacock. The story is that the Mauryas, separating from the parent community of Sakyas to escape from the invasion of the cruel Kosala king, Vidudhava, found refuge in a secluded Himalayan region full of peacocks, whence they also became known as Mauryas, that is, those belonging to the place of peacocks. Another version of the story derives Maurya from the city called Maurya Nagara, as it was built with bricks colored like peacocks' necks. The people who built the city became known as Mauryas. According to Jain tradition, Chandragupta was born of a family who reared peacocks. The Greek accounts of Alexander's campaign mention an Indian tribe called Manes after the allied term Maurya. The canonical Buddhist work Digha Nikaya refers to the Mauryas of Pipha Livana. The Mahavamsa describes Chandragupta as being born of Mauryas, who were Kshatriyas. The Divya Vadana describes Chandragupta's sons Bindusara and also his grandson Asoka as a Kshatriya. The connection of Peacock, Mayura, with Maurya or Maurya dynasty is attested beyond doubt by singular archaeological evidence. One of the pillars of Asoka, that at Nandangarh, bears at bottom the figure of a peacock as the dynastic emblem of the Mauryas or Mauryas, while the same Mayura symbol is repeated in some scriptures on the great stupa at Sanchi, which are associated with Asoka on the basis of the stories of his life which they translate into stone. Perhaps the true facts of Chandragupta's lineage were gathered by the Greeks. Justin states that he was born in humble life. Plutarch makes Chandragupta report to Alexander that the then Nanda king of Magadha was unpopular for his wickedness and meanness of origin. A descendant cannot cast aspersion on his own ancestry. Ancestral meanness will also be his by descent. The fact of Chandragupta's humble life is also borne out by Buddhist tradition. According to this tradition, his father, the chief of his tribe, was killed in a border fray. The helpless widow escaped to Pushpapura, where she gave birth to Chandragupta. The boy was spirited away by a cowherd, who brought him up in his cowpen and then sold him to a hunter, by whom he was employed to tend cattle. The story goes that at the village common, the boy Chandragupta took instinctively to the game of playing the king, Raja Krida, with his companions. Administering justice in a mock court got up for the purpose. It was at one of these plays that Chandragupta was first seen by Chanakya. Chanakya saw in that rusted child the promise and signs of royalty, and at once bought him from his foster father for the sum of 1,000 Karsha panas, brought him to Taxila, his own native city, and had him educated there for 7 or 8 years. These details explain the reference of Justin to Chandragupta's humble life at the beginning. They also explain the other, very interesting and important fact that Chandragupta, when a mere youth, had seen Alexander in the course of his campaigning in India. It was possible for a youth brought up at Taxila. According to the Buddhist text, Chanakya, after the completion of Chandragupta's education at Taxila, proceeded to recruit an army locally and made Chandragupta its commander. According to Justin also, Chandragupta collected a band of robbers, as pointed out by McCrindle. These robbers were the Republican peoples of the Punjab, the Arathas of Arashtrakas, kingless peoples. Bodhayana in his Dharma Sutra calls the Punjab the country of the Arathas. The Mahabharata also defines the Aratha as the people of the Panchan Ada country, the land of 5 rivers, and also calls them Vahikas, along with peoples named Prashthala, Madra, Gandhara, Khasa, Vasati, Sindhu, and Sauvira. Alexander saw some of them, such as the Vasati, whom he calls Usadi, or the Aratas, whom he calls Adrestai. Alexander's invasion brought to light the many free peoples who resisted it at different centers in the Punjab. With all their might and resources, a large part of the Punjab, according to Aryan, was then held by independent Indian tribes, fierce nations ready to fight Alexander with their blood. There were then magnificent military material and possibilities available in the Punjab among her small republican peoples and states. Their heroic defense of their liberties against Alexander's invasion failed, probably because it lacked leadership, organization, unity of direction, and pooling of resources. Alexander was able to deal with each state separately and to subdue it easily. The multiplicity of states prevented a united front against a common enemy and caused the collapse of opposition. It was left to the genius of Chanakya and Chandragupta to exploit and organize this local military, material, and spirit of resistance, which they had seen with their own eyes, for a more successful endeavor for the achievement of the country's freedom from Greek control. They knew how to produce out of this material an army fit for freedom's battle. Indian literature throws some light on the composition of the army which Chandragupta had got together for fighting his battles. The Mudrara Kaksaha speaks of an alliance which Chanakya had arranged with a Himalayan chief called Parvataka. The Stahviraval Charita also states that Chanakya went to Himawatkuta and entered into alliance with Parvataka, the king of that region. And Buddhist accounts also mention a Parvata as a close associate of Chanakya. Thus, three traditions testify to this alliance. It is extremely probable, as F. W. Thomas has suggested in Cambridge History of India, Volume 1, that this Parvataka was no other than King Poros of the Greeks. He filled such a large place in the politics of the Punjab that no adventure in that region was possible without him at that time. The Mudra Rakshasa further informs us that as a result of this Himalayan alliance,